I will give now the floor to you for a couple of minutes, if you have some comments or questions to the first two speakers, and then I will go on with our guest from the States.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, I also came from Asian country, Sri Lanka. I think I have a comment. Both of you, I understood you are neglect the deep cause of the cultural cause. Because when you tell women are not paid, what do you mean? So we have to pay the women. That means the works, what women do now, who will do? So what is your alternative proposal? Is a Occidental individual life, the modernity developed the individual family, or the Asiatic value? I don't compare is good or bad, it's something else. But my point is, it's neglect the deep root of the culture. Our culture in Asiatic, most of Asian culture it is not a individualism, it is a communitary culture. That is why the women, I don't say there is no discrimination here, multiple discrimination. So when we look at the Occidental, the European culture, there are also discrimination, and they have found another solutions. For example, divorce, simply divorce. They have another social security systems. They develop, it's good, we can appreciate it. But how we can keep our own values? I don't say we should, we must think, should we keep our own values or just that global context, globalization, shall we take the European individualism of family context?
I was wondering if these are values or cultural and social constructions, but that's totally different. Should I gather first the questions and then I will give... All right, okay, let's gather the questions.
I just wanted to say that one of the recurrent discussions with my students is that a woman who studied and is working and then takes home leave so that she can look after children and everything, and you cannot put that in your CV. And normally my female students say, but we are a manager, we are a psychologist, we are a nurse, we are a cook, we are, you name it. And there's no way you can put that in your CV. So definitely it's a terrible unpaid job. And I mean, even if you don't have children, you have to look after the house. And I don't think that's very different across the world. And there's no recognition whatsoever besides a kiss, a hug, or an I love you of that work. And again, sometimes. So definitely we, in that sense, because I'm sure we all do a bit or a lot of that work, we should acknowledge ourselves and the rest of the women, because what would happen if one day we said, that's it, I'm not doing it. I'm not saying that men are not doing that part of a household job, no. But still, it's a female task to say it some way. Thank you.
I have just a question. It was fascinating. Thank you very much. I think we all learned a lot. But my question is, to what extent the issues that you mentioned so forcefully, where they are on political agenda? Do they stand somewhere, or just a question of researchers, social scientists, or economists, and so on? Is there a chance to bring it up in the political agenda in India and maybe worldwide? But that will be the next part of the panel. But in India, is it a possibility to have it somewhere higher on the political agenda?
Okay, and the last question is first.
Yes, No, I was quite impressed by both speakers this afternoon. And one question, is there any help to be found in the Indian constitution? Because it was a kind of model constitution. After independence, you took a few years to draft it, and actually it was a very modern, a very liberal, putting every human being on the same footing. And could you find any recourse in this, or is this prestigious text fading out?
Okay, we don't have so much time.
Just to answer,
Please try to answer.
Professor Paul, regarding political agenda, we don't have any political agenda on this issue, no, not at all. That is the whole crux of the matter, is that her work is not regarded as a work. That is my point. She herself doesn't say that it is a work. I showed that in my previous slide. So that is the issue. Ignorance. Yeah. So it is really invisibility in her own eyes also.
Shall I respond? Okay. A little initiative taken by some women, feminist movement is a reservation of 33% in the parliament. But in the parliament and the assembly legislative, 33% of women participation is denied, or the law has not yet been enacted, though there is a demand for many years. But at the panchayat level, at the village level, some percentage has been reserved for women. That is one little initiative that has been done at the political level, I am saying. But a lot of things have to be done. But since the parliament, assembly, legislature, everything is dominated by men, they don't give up easily a percentage of political right or some space in the political arena for women. That is the question. This one, the Constitution of India, really modern, and it was elaborated by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, a leader of untouchable. So, there he gives liberty, equality, rights, all human rights to women. But it goes against the Hindu theology. According to Hindu theology, women have to remain at home. It's all the Vedas, Upanishads, everything says that women should remain at home. If she gets out of the home, she will be branded as a prostitute. So that is the religious value is very strong in the minds of the upper caste men and men at all levels. So it goes, I think we are going to discuss probably next year, the contradiction between the universal human right values and the local values. So the local value dominates locally and they don't implement the constitutional democratic rights. One example, the constitution gives rights to Dalits to present themselves to be elected as mayor of the village. In 1996, a mayor was elected, but after a week, he and his 5 councillors were cut off, killed. So, the upper caste people say, you don't have right. Traditionally, Dalits cannot sit in the chair. Only the upper caste men should on the chair. You have to stand in like this. So, there is a conflict very alive between the constitutional rights and the local caste-based rights. This is what I'd like to respond. Yes, you want to add?
Feminist economists are working on this, and ILO has also recently come out with the book Care, Work and Care Economy. You must be aware of it. So, what you were saying, Panchayati Raj is different. That is a political in the governance. That is a reservation for her seat. But as such, the women at work, as a woman as a worker, that is, her work is not recognized as a work. That is my crux of the point of my presentation, that her duties are not recognized as work. That level of invisibility it must be highlighted.
Just a quick one.
Sorry. Thank you very much to both of you. I really enjoyed the presentation. But I just a quick question, if you can elaborate a little bit more. Let us assume that there's a process that we start to recognize women in India and other places as work. How would you envision the compensation for that work? Is it with privileges? Is it economically? Is it financially? Is it, I don't know. How would you envision it? Because once you start to recognize it, there is a change, there's a movement. How do you envision that movement in India in particular? Would it be something similar that what happened in England some time ago, or would it be completely different? And can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, I can envisage as a role of technology, but it will take time in India because India is a very vast country, and in the rural areas it will take still a lot of time. The labor saving devices and all, if it can come. And also, as I mentioned, that within the household they are doing some household economy work also, like informal economy is also being done, which is unpaid. So for that, wages must be given to them. That was another issue within this also. So those things must be seriously considered and seen that wages part. Wages, they were not paid the wages also, and because there was a role of middlemen also. Middlemen are also creating a lot of problem. They are getting the work from the urban areas and they are getting it at a very cheaper rate to the women. And those women, they are working within the household and they are not paid, sometimes not paid at all also, or paid very 1 rupee, 2 rupee like kind of thing. The stitches which I told you, the 32 stitches, they are very fine needlework to be done. They are just paid 50 paisa. I was told, I myself went to the field, they were paid only this much, that jali work which I have shown, that stitches. So that is the situation. At least for that, the wages should be given to them. So there are multiple linkages and dimensions to look at this problem from various lenses. I cannot give a single answer to this question.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.